We'll see what comes out as the hours count down there in the Middle East. Thanks, Connor.
Let's turn now to Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler, who serves on the House Armed Services Committee. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us today.
You bet.
I know that you have, we'll look forward at what happens next, but I know looking backward that you all have tried to get answers about exactly how this deal went down. Have you gotten the answers you were looking for?
No, we haven't. Both the State Department as well as the White House have impeded our investigation and prevented the Department of Defense from fully disclosing a lot of the information that we've been looking into. We want to know why this deal happened, how it happened, and how we can feel confident that Americans are going to be safe with these 5 Taliban leaders now released. It's very concerning because these leaders had major positions in the Taliban government. One of them was in charge of their army. Another one was a chief intelligence officer. Another one was a provincial governor. Others worked with other terrorist organizations to coordinate efforts. These were very, very serious individuals whose sole focus was to try to take out American lives. And now, as of midnight, they're going to be free.
Well, and we've had a government official with, knowledge of the intelligence tell us here at Fox News that at least 3 of the 5 are suspected to have already tried to re-engage with some terror activities and terror networks. I know that over the last few days there have been reports that our administration has been trying to negotiate something with Qatari officials that would maybe in some way extend some type of surveillance or limits on these 5 traveling, etc. Do you have any knowledge about whether we have come to any sort of agreement for extending surveillance here?
We have not heard that as of yet, and it's very concerning. We did not even hear that they were having negotiations till about a month ago, and that's very late in the process to start this discussion. And now here we are at the last minute, and we don't have this agreement yet, and these terrorists could be released and potentially harm Americans again. The White House has been very reticent to provide any information to us, and a year ago failed to notify Congress that they were going to even release this, which is contrary to the law. And that's part of what my committee is looking into, because they clearly violated the law. They went around Congress and they worked out this deal and released these terrorists without notifying us, and that's wrong.
Well, critics of this administration will point out that, in their estimation, this administration often flouts the law when it doesn't work for its particular purposes or plans. An accusation that, of course, the administration pushes back against and says everything it's done has been within the president's discretionary and other executive powers. But what accounting would there be should you come to the conclusion that, the law does spell out these notifications that Congress is supposed to get before these transfers or releases are made? It didn't happen here. What kind of accountability could you impose on the administration if that's the ultimate conclusion?
Well, we've already passed the National Defense Authorization Act, which is the major bill from my Armed Services Committee, a prohibition on the President being able to do this again, certainly without the Secretary of Defense certifying next time that these terrorists would not harm Americans and that they cannot go back to a country that is engaged in warfare against us. And there has to be assurances from that government that they're going to be able to restrain and detain these individuals. We've also put a restriction on the Secretary of Defense's budget, 25% cut until he complies and provides us as members of Congress with the information that we have requested. So we have the power of the purse, and we can withhold funding, and we can pass laws to require the President to do certain things before he acts, and we're going to fully do that because the American people deserve it.
And so folks know this isn't simply a partisan concern, because one of your Democratic colleagues, the top Democrat on House Intel, Congressman Adam Schiff out of California, has said his point all along has not been the first 12 months that these 5 have been monitored. He's always been worried about month 13 and what comes next. We will see as the hours tick down to their release from these conditions. Congresswoman Hartzler, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Leland?
Still to come is the fate of the Patriot Act, now in the hands of Rand Paul.